What's up everyone, Alex here. I've been thinking about doing a video lately where I talk about handhelds, and I had been like writing some different ones, and with the release of the Odin 2 mini coming up, which you can now pre-order now, I thought maybe I'll just do a classic video where I just like get out some handhelds and talk about them. I've been wanting to talk about the Odin 2 for some time now, just because it's been about 5 months since it's come out and it's still just an absolutely fantastic device. You can see that mine is customized even further with the SakuraRetroModding buttons. This is probably not going to help with the lighting in this video, but honestly, I think they're kind of beautiful. They shine a lot more than I was expecting them to. I think when I first got them, I thought they felt a little weird, like the plastic almost felt like I had like hard glue on my thumbs or something, but I quickly got used to them, and it is weird when you let's say you turn it off and the lights go out. It's quite obvious that they're just clear sticks and they look a bit off. I think some people were a bit concerned at the fit of them. I think this is like a case by case kind of thing. Some people said they had loose ones. My right one here, I do have to like use a teeny bit of force to pull them off, but they don't just like easily come off, you know? I can flick them around and they'll stay on. This one here is just a tad bit looser, I think, but still, again, if I like flick it around, it is not going to come off. So I have these sticks, they're wonderful, and I'm also using the AmbiOdin app, where now if I slide up from the top, there's a new function here where I can open this up and it will start the app and just get it going. It's a lot more intuitive. If I actually go over to my Android section on Pegasus, where I have set up a button, I can, okay, that's really bright. I really need a new camera. So yeah, there's a couple options here. I'm trying to get the angle. Ambilight edges, Ambilight rainbow, reverse rainbow. The edges one is pretty cool, as each stick will light up differently depending on what's on what side of the screen. Ambilight just kind of like takes an average of the colors on the screen and does like both sticks the same kind of color. I think rainbow is really nice to look at actually, but the Ambilight edges is really awesome for some games. And I might as well just demonstrate a little bit of that as I was testing it out with Res, which has some pretty funky lights on it. There was also a new OTA for the Odin which fixed some things, and one of the problems was for some reason at a low volume the Odin wasn't actually very low volume, but now it is better. You can lay in bed with a very low volume and it actually works as intended. So this is Res, this is the PlayStation 2 version. I was actually testing the Dreamcast version, but I wanted to get a save file where I could get like all the levels, and I found it really hard, so I ended up just getting the PlayStation 2 version instead. And yeah, you can see that the lights are lighting up independently. The left one's a bit more green than the right one in this situation. If I go over to traveling and pick, oh look at that, look at the way they light up. And that's so cool. That's super cool, dude. I mean, there's going to be some games where you use both sticks and it's harder to see. I hardly ever see the lights on the sides, but yeah, and you can see that as I'm playing the game, I'll try and use the D-pad actually so that you can see the sticks a little better. I've never actually fully played this game, but it is fun. I love all these kind of ribbon games. I was just about to say I missed this game called Vib Ribbon on the PS1 where you could like play any song and it would make a level to it. That was way more intuitive back in the day. It was like so cool back then, but now it's just like whatever. There we go, looking at the colors. Right, it wasn't crazy. There are some games where it gets a bit crazier, like some games that have like anime intros. So I don't know, maybe a PS1 game, maybe. Oh, God. I play my Odin 2 quite a lot. When I like go to bed, sometimes I continue something. Actually, something I did not go into because I haven't done videos in a long time. I have been updating some things and I was trying to think where my Switch library is. I've got a different video here now that I made for the Switch. Used to be Mario Kart, but now I've just made a Smash Brothers video. Yeah, Yuzu is dead, and I've not made a video about this really since it's died. So there's not going to be any more updates for Yuzu, so what I have now is a catalogue of games that I believe are all 100% playable or work very well. And I feel like if I ever pick up my Odin 2 now and pick any one of these games, I could quite confidently just go in and play them all. And something I did recently, I might as well leave links to this in the description because I found it a little hard to figure this out at first, is I have Final Fantasy VII on here, New Threat. So this is a mod for Final Fantasy VII which like adds more challenge and does some other stuff to the game. I've barely played it actually. I was intending to play it more, but I played Final Fantasy Rebirth earlier this year and I ended up liking it a lot more than I was expecting. It was really, really cool, and I thought, well, maybe I should play the original Final Fantasy again because it's awesome. So yeah, this is New Threat, and it adds a ton of like replayability to it. I can't remember actually what I was doing at this point. It's a shame there isn't a way to do widescreen at the moment. I think if you wanted to do that, you would need to play the game on Steam or something and modify the game there. But with New Threat, they've added like new challenges and stuff. Actually, one of the things I was going to go into about PC gaming and other stuff, because a lot of people are talking about Winlator now on the Odin 2, and it's not something I've really gotten into because well, first of all, my internal hard drive on this thing is practically full, so I don't really have the space for Windows games. But on the other side is I have the AYANEO Geek 1S. Is that what it's called? And this is, I used to use this a lot more. What I have this doing now is I have it docked in my bedroom upstairs, and I have a small keyboard and mouse. And I use this as an upstairs gaming PC. It's actually really cool. And I also use this to stream this downstairs PC here, because this PC I have down here has like a 3090 and stuff. So something I actually did was I streamed all of Dragon's Dogma 2 from my downstairs PC upstairs and played it like a console game, and I was playing it at like 60 frames. It streamed very well through Steam with the Steam Link app, and I also basically just put the TV into game mode, and it was like very little latency. I was really surprised about that. So I love the way I have my my Geek 1S set up. I've just made it very simple down here. I have a whole bunch of shortcuts for emulators down here and a bunch of launchers down here. So I can very easily just like get into playing Steam games. I play a lot of VR actually, and I don't know if I'll ever get into that in my gaming channel, but at the moment I'm really enjoying Contractors Showdown, which is very, very addictive. It's very, very good. And I also play, or used to play, a lot of Population 1. But yeah, I'm a big fan of VR. I hope VR kind of makes a big comeback soon. And you play away. So yeah, I really like my Geek 1S. And I do sometimes play games like in handheld mode. I recently played like Lords of Shadow. But one of the things I also really like about this is that if I open Yuzu on here, this thing is basically my Switch Pro. You know, if we look at the size between this and the Odin 2, you can see the Geek's got a bigger screen, and it's just, you know, it's got like a 7840 in it, which makes playing Nintendo Switch games a breeze, and that's really awesome. So if I was going to go on a long trip, I have an extra battery pack that I can charge and use with this, because, you know, when you're handling like TDP with this app, I have it set on Smart TDP 60 frames. I have some other performance modes I've set up. So if I really wanted to like save some of the power, I really could. But when I'm at home, I just use Smart TDP. And in here, oh, I just realized something actually, and that is because I have an exclusive controller I have set up upstairs. So I need to set this, I think it's to Xbox controller. If it'll let me click it. I can't see very well. There we go. And set that to OK. And let's say I boot up. I mean, I have a whole list of games here. Let's a classic one I always just like to throw on here is Mario Kart Deluxe. I got a really bad feeling this video is going to be really long because I want to chat about original handhelds and other devices, which you know, people are probably been thinking about. That is so loud. Let me turn that down and let me set this to full screen. So I'm just going to show the Geek 1S again just because I really like it. You know, a lot of people have a Steam Deck. I kind of like the idea of having a Windows emulator more because I can kind of do more with it. And I really need to like put more time and effort into looking into things in this again. Because, I mean, obviously emulators get updated and so on. But I'm sure there are some people with AYANEO products like Windows emulator, Windows handhelds that... oh, let's pick a different course. That are potentially doing some really cool things. I kind of really wanted to get the AYANEO Flip DS, but it does seem kind of bulky for Wii U emulation and 3DS emulation, which is what I feel like would be the primary use of it. Let me turn this down a little bit more. It would be really cool to get one of those in the future if they're like reduced. But yeah, look at this thing. It's pretty big, chunky. Oh, I forgot to go fast at the start. So I'm a big fan of this device. And if I ever go try... Oh, I also really like the triggers. I love these big squeezy triggers. I never thought I would, but I do. I do like them a lot. But because the Odin 2 can do a large amount of Switch emulation, it can play Mario Kart 8 perfectly. So I would prefer to take that with me because it works really well on that and it has a really good battery life. So for traveling purposes, I would take an Odin 2. And that kind of like brings up the question of, should people get an Odin 2 Mini? And like, I've been talking to a few people about it, and it's a really tough one because I think it is one of those devices where we gotta get some reviews in. I think people are gonna have to haul it, and I think the two main points are gonna be is A, it's very pocketable, and that's quite pleasant, and you know, maybe that's something where people have had an Odin 2 and gone, man, I wish it was just a little bit more pocketable. And then the other factor is that it might just charm the pants off people. You know, the Vita look, it looks very stylish. It actually reminds me more of a AYANEO product because of the screwless design. So that's going to be really interesting. And I'm really like, you can order one now, so you can go and pre-order it. And they're expecting to ship late June. There was a bit of concern in the Discord because there's all these coupons that you could use, and apparently even about an hour after the pre-orders went live, you could still get $15 off coupons, and that was like the second tier of coupons. I actually panicked when I ordered mine, thinking that loads of people would take the $30 coupon. And I didn't want my order to get messed up because I wanted to be one of the first, to be in like the first batch. So instead of choosing the $30 coupon, I chose the $15 coupon just to play it safe and make sure my order went through. It turns out I probably could have used the $30 coupon because I was there on the dot. So I've ordered a base model which is black. I just wanted to get the cheapest model because that's the only one that interests me. And I think when it comes to reviewing and showing it off, I think more people are more interested in that because the Pro and Max models of the Odin 2, they have like more storage and RAM, and I feel like the extra RAM is very niche for a very small group of people really, and so I feel the same way about the Mini, but you see, right now, Yuzu and Switch emulation is dead on Android. So the only thing that's really happening on Android right now that's exciting at all is probably Windows emulation. And it's really cool to see what people are doing. And perhaps having more RAM is the key to getting some of those games running even better. But again, it seems like a kind of niche thing. It's something I'm not personally interested in. As I said, here I've got a Geek 1S, and yeah, it's more expensive than an Odin 2, but it just plays exactly what I need it to. So I'm just going to quit out of Yuzu there, but I was just thinking, is there like a Steam game I can test on here? There's even other games, like this game isn't on Steam, X-Men Origins Wolverine. Now, everyone's going to be thinking about Wolverine soon because of Deadpool 3. Um, I think you can't buy this game anymore, so it's like sort of like what do you call it? Like dead PC games, so you can download it for free. And I linked it through Steam, so I can just open up X-Men Origins Wolverine. Never actually played this. It was my intention one day to play it on this portably, and maybe I'll do that soon because I actually been on an X-Men kick. I guess because Deadpool 3 is coming, and I've not seen the X-Men films in a really long time, I thought, what the hey, I'll start watching X-Men films. Never really thought about the games much. I've never played this. I hear good... I'm sorry, I'm shaking my hands. I hear good things about it all the time. So maybe I should play this soon. I have been wanting to play something different for a while now. Like, I've been doing a lot of VR lately, and I think the next thing I'm really looking forward to is... press and hold Z? Oh no. I think this is the kind of game where I just need to know the controls beforehand. Anyway, the thing I'm looking forward to next is Elden Ring DLC, and they actually released a new story trailer recently, which is pretty exciting. It's going to be very, very cool. And this game is very gory. Very gory, and apparently very fun, so I probably should play this. You know, there's a YouTuber I really like watching called G-Man Lives. He does a lot of retro reviews on, like, action-y games, FPS games, and, oh, well, Wolverine's gonna die. I don't know how to play this. But yeah, I think if you have the money, you know, there's always talk about, like, you know, investing money in the right handheld. I think a lot of people want one handheld to be the one. I don't think that's possible, and this is something I've been wanting to talk about in a video, where it's like, what is the best bang for your money? What should you get, and what's going to last you like the longest time? All right, I think I should put this away now. It doesn't fit on the dock, but I was just balancing it there. So the Odin 2, in my opinion, is probably the best bang for buck for all the stuff it can do. The categories of games I have here, you can play all the Wii catalog, a healthy amount of Switch games really well. If I boot into this and go into Yuzu instead, you can see my list of games a little bit better because the screen is quite bright. And I probably should have turned it down for this video. But... you know what, I tried to get Animal Well working on here because I was just really keen to see if it would, but nah, it doesn't work on Yuzu. You would think that it possibly would, but an interesting thing is that Animal Well has a completely custom-made engine for that game. It's strange, but it does, just for that game. So it kind of makes sense why it doesn't work in Yuzu, because it probably doesn't have code that understands what's going on in that game or something. I mean, I don't know how to make emulators, but look, Advance Wars, Batman, Bayonetta 2, I mean, that runs really well. Dark Souls runs great. Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition, which is like the best version of it. Dragon's Dogma now runs. You got the old Final Fantasy with the mods. Grime. Check out Grime if you haven't. It's an excellent Metroidvania, which I wrote the music for, and they've announced Grime 2, and I am composing the music to that game as well. And it's something I got to start soon, actually, so... yeah, I'll be working on that. Metroid Prime now works. Metroid Dread. Octopath Traveler 2, pretty sure that works. Pikmin 4 just about works just fine. Prince of Persia. I love a bit of Pure Tetris. That works. Honestly, there's so many games that work on here. So, I mean, I'm not saying you should emulate Nintendo Switch on your Odin, but there is a lot of interest in it, and I think because, you know, the Nintendo Switch is such an old piece of hardware now, and we're all waiting for a Switch 2, it's things like this strangely keep it alive. I mean, I love the Nintendo Switch. I love the games that are on it. I'm happy to buy the games I want to play, but even if I was buying Nintendo Switch games now, I would want to dump them and put them on this because I want an all-in-one kind of thing. I love the feeling of that. And it's true, you got to use Yuzu. Obviously, playing a Nintendo Switch is better, especially in OLED because it looks beautiful. But yeah, this is a great all-rounder. it's definitely worth the price, especially the base model. You'll get so much value in it if you know how to curate a list of ROMs, download emulators, and I mean, I'm preaching to the choir for a lot of my channel here. Anybody watching my videos is going to be like, I know, Ro, I have one. But if anybody stumbles on this video, it's amazing to have such a I mean, some people would say that this device is a little too big and not good for their hand. You can see I have quite large hands, so for me, it feels quite comfortable. I wouldn't really play first-person shooters on here, but there are people with smaller hands that find it harder to operate the triggers and stuff. This is where I think the Mini is going to come in really nice for people like that, and it's like, it's an audience people don't really think about. I think so many people are happy with the Odin, but they don't think about, oh, what about people who have smaller hands? And you see the difference between, so this is the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro, which is pretty powerful. And I haven't actually turned this on in a really long time. You think I would, because I loved the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus? Yeah, Plus. I loved that so much, and I still do. I think it's an incredible PSP device, if you think of it that way. This one, every time I think of this device, I think it's just not as good as the Odin 2. That's the way I think about it all the time. I also don't like the texture of the plastic shell. You can see that there's like a grainy shimmer to it, and I don't like that. It feels cheap to me, and I know a lot of people tell me that it feels really nice, but I just don't feel that way. And I think this has crashed. Maybe the battery is just sort of drained and I need to charge it all again. This would have... Oh, no, here we go. Storage space is running out. That's not good. That could potentially be part of why it's running a little bit slower. I did wonder about this. I have a large SD card in here, but yeah, it doesn't run as fast as the Odin 2. I don't know if that's an SD card thing. I swear my Retroid Pocket 3 runs faster than this. But what I do really like about this, I also set up my RetroArch emulator on here to use. I did a video on like these bezels and shaders, which look really cool. So if I was to play Game Boy Advance games on here, and I mean, this is one of the beautiful things about this device. It's small, pocketable, but the D-pad is on top, so it makes playing retro games just really nice. I've forgotten how I look. There we go. I have to... Oh, that's going to be a bummer with the Mini 2. It's not going to have M2 buttons. That sucks. That really sucks. I'm really annoyed by that. I think these devices do need like a couple of extra buttons to really get the most out of them. Especially in RetroArch, when you have a bunch of different hotkeys that just make it so much more accessible when you're playing a game. In my case here with the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro, I'm using L2 as my hotkey enabler, and I think like L2 and Y is my menu, L2 and R1 is save, and other stuff like that, and L2 and the stick. I like to set it so left is rewind, forward is fast forward, up is toggle fast forward, and down is toggle slow-mo. I just do that now. I quite like that. But having these bezels the way I've set up on the Game Boy Advance is really cool, because you can see the light is changing on the bezel based on what's happening in the game. It should be anyway, unless I buggered it up, which wouldn't surprise me. No, it's still working. So, the Odin 2 Mini is going to be of a similar size to the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro, and that is only just a tad bit smaller. Well, it's about the same size. About the same size as the Vita. So the Mini is going to be just a little bit larger than the Vita, and it looks very, very similar. And I've seen a lot of people talking about the Vita now, and I think in the past year, maybe 6 months, I don't know, I think there has been a little bit of a resurgence on owning original hardware again. And this is another topic I wanted to get into, and oh God, I hope this has battery, is that I think it is entirely worth still owning original hardware. I still sometimes can't believe that the PlayStation Vita is as old as it is, because you look at it now and it still looks like a device that would come out today. I mean, there's AYN is copying the damn device, and I haven't used this in a really long time. But obviously, it's so bright. Is where do I set the brightness? Do I hold the home button? It's been a long time. Yeah, we'll do that. And you know, a hacked Vita, because I mean, you can't buy these games anymore. You have access to the entire Vita catalog, which even today is still, because using Vita 3K, for example, it's still an ongoing in progress emulator. I think when people want to buy the Odin 2 Mini, I think there's a lot of people that are going to go straight to Vita 3K emulation and go, oh god, yeah, that's going to be amazing. It's got a Snapdragon Gen 2, it's going to run everything perfect. And potentially that will be the case in the future, but Vita 3K is not there yet. There is I don't want to say a decent amount of games that are running right now on Vita 3K for Android, but it's hit and miss. But it's going to be cool to do a showcase of the Odin 2 Mini of games that are running very well on the Vita. I think that'll be a popular video. I think there'll be a really healthy interest in that, and it will probably just bring up this resurgence of Vita interest. I mean, there are so many cool games on here, and I've set up my categories here. I have action adventure games, so this ranges from Gravity Rush, Uncharted. God, this D-pad is nice. That is a really nice D-pad. Oh, I've missed this thing. Action RPGs, Dragon's Crown, Odin Sphere, Zelda, which is a hack. No, not a hack. It is a port, but it has widescreen and stuff. That would be cool, actually, because this has trouble running on the Vita. It sometimes has slowdown. You won't have any problem with that on the Odin 2 Mini. But yeah, a shitload of Metroidvanias. I don't know how many of those will run on Vita 3K. I think, for example, games like Time Spinner don't work. A very good Metroidvania, by the way. Well worth purchasing. Very similar to Symphony of the Night in ways, and there's this guy I know who composed the soundtrack for it. He's awesome. He did a really good job on it. Yeah, super load of good games, roguelikes, and you know, you could spend all day on roguelikes. But yeah, the Vita also does a decent amount of emulation. Nintendo 64 is not fantastic. There's some you can play, but you know, there's a lot of frame rate issues and things. It's just a weird emulator. But you can play like you know, classic Capcom arcade games, RetroArch, all your PS1 and PSP games will run. I haven't looked in this in a long time, actually. I'm hoping it still works. I feel like on my PSP Slim, which I still have, this is hacked, and it doesn't have an SD card in it or anything. It just has its internal like 1 gig storage, and I put a bunch of retro games on here. Man, this is the device I played Vagrant Story on. Love that game. It's so good. But yeah, boom. PS1 games, PS1 RPGs, PSP games, PSP RPGs. Oh, what have I done? No, don't do that. Oh, dude, now that I'm down, this is what I'm expecting when I get the Odin 2 Mini. I hold it and have like the same admiration that I do. Look at that, it's so beautiful. Oh, long live the Vita, dude. Whilst you're watching this video or whatever, go to eBay, have a look at the Vitas, the used ones, and see if anybody is selling one with a decent screen that's not really scratched. All my handhelds I got that are original hardware, or they're all secondhand I got on eBay, and I kind of like meticulously look at pictures and descriptions and try and see like what's a good deal, which one has like the least damage, and how much are they selling it for. And I feel like each one I got a really good deal on. So I highly encourage that. And it even if you like have one already, it's still fun to have a look and see who's selling like good condition Vitas and stuff, because I mean, one day you might want a backup, or you want like a different color Vita. Oh, look at this screen, dude. It's sharp. So yeah, the Odin 2 Mini is going to have a mini LED screen. It's not an OLED screen. So one of the things about an OLED is it can individually turn off the pixels on the screen, creating true blacks. So the mini LED is not going to be able to do that. But ooh, music. Wait, I don't want music. But the mini LED can get very bright. Now, this might work in its favor because, for example, if I were to how do I exit a game? I don't like touching the screen. I like to do the shortcuts. If I go to RetroArch and let's look for a retro game, probably like Super Nintendo, Mega Drive. When it runs, please run. Oh, thank you. And let's look for, what do we have a look at? This is one of the reasons I like making videos like this, because I get nostalgic for these handhelds again, and once you spend a bit of time and hold one, you start developing like this connection. And like holding the Vita a lot, I always go, yes, I want to play this, but like over time, you know, for example, I've played on my Odin 2 now for like 5 months or something. I genuinely love it, and I think it's such a big step up from the original Odin. But then I played it for 5 months and I get a bit bored. I love setting up handhelds and things like this, holding the Vita, and you know, it doesn't have any grips or anything. I actually find this quite comfortable. You know, it's light. The fact that it's light, I think, is one of the reasons why consoles like this can get away with not having like proper grip design. When it's smaller and lighter, you just feel like you can maneuver, you know, with comfort. So I don't know, I might be chatting up my ass right now. I mean, I have been chatting like 30 minutes straight. Lethal Weapon on the SNES is such a bad game. It's really bad. Let's look at Mega Man. Mega Man X. Did I press the right button? Nope. Run. And a game like Mega Man X is going to look gorgeous on a screen like this, but on the Odin 2 Mini, I think there's the potential for retro games like this to come out even brighter and just look really nice. Now, I've never seen a mini LED screen in person, and I think when a lot of people talk about screens like this, the only like information we have is really like bigger screens for like monitors and stuff. I think the Odin 2 Mini is the first handheld to have a mini LED screen. Why is this not playing? Oh, that's another thing that might bother me a little bit. All the sort of menu buttons on the Odin 2 Mini are on the bottom. I would have liked start and select up here, but that is not going to be the case. Alright, if you guys don't mind, I'm just going to sit here and play Mega Man. I've been watching a streamer recently who's been playing all the Mega Mans, and he's never played the retro ones, so he's played 1 to 6. And he's loving it. And there is something about, I should do like a Mega Man marathon someday, because they are extremely entertaining to play. And in person, so looking at my capture, because of the way it's set, it doesn't do the OLED screen justice. The colors on here are so rich, and that's really exciting. Actually, that just reminded me of something. If I... Give me a second. I did a review on the AYANEO Pocket Air, which is very dusty because I don't use it. I apologize for that. And this has an OLED screen. So this is basically the same kind of quality as the Vita. So if you wanted an Android device with an OLED screen, you could go for the AYANEO Pocket S. Is it Pocket? No, that's the new one, the AYANEO Pocket Air, this one's called. But you can only get it in this color. And this is about, I think the Retroid Pocket 4 and this are about similar power. I'm not 100% sure. This might be a little bit more powerful. I can't remember. One of these has a Dimensity 1100 and the other has like a Dimensity 900. Not entirely sure. For the price you can pay for this, if you can get this device cheap, hang on, let me stop the audio from that device. Does this have battery? I haven't used this in a really long time. Is it going to turn on? It is. So the design of this, the AYANEO Pocket Air, it says it on the back, thank you, is actually not bad, but I think the color's a bit boring. I don't really like the color, and the sticks are really small. They're like the original Odin kind of sticks, and they're not really that fun to use. But if you wanted a handheld with an OLED screen, well, which isn't a Steam Deck OLED, then you could go for this. I have to put my code in. And honestly, when I reviewed this, I thought it was pretty good. I did think it was pretty good. I just didn't think the price justified it, and the Odin 2 is coming out. But if you really need an OLED screen, and when I did a review of this, I'm trying to find, was I using the original Dolphin, or was I using MMJR? I think I was using MMJR. Okay, and I don't actually have many games on here, but when I was testing out Super Mario Sunshine, it just looked, the colors were so nice, and this is probably a game I'm going to have a look at on the Odin 2 Mini, just because it's just such a colorful game. Oh, I'm going to have to turn that down. I haven't used MMJR. Really? Oh, that's so bright. I'm so sorry. I do have a save. And let me have a look at the brightness here. Hang on. Oh god, it's using different handhelds. I don't know which one's the back button. Okay, so yeah, it's really gorgeous. Again, like the colors are a bit flatter on this video, but in person it's very rich and very nice. And the way I have this set up is that Mario Sunshine has a 60 FPS patch, no, a 60 FPS code, but it has a widescreen patch on the ROM itself to have proper widescreen. And playing a game like this on here it looks really good. But I have to say that now I'm holding this again, I'm not feeling that connection. I'm not feeling that, like, ooh, the love for the device. Like, picking up a Vita again. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, when you pick up something and it's like love at first sight? I don't know. So, I don't know. Maybe there are some secondhand one of these somewhere. I wouldn't think about selling this because I got this as a review product. This was my first review product that they emailed me about. So, I was really grateful to have that opportunity. But yeah, selling it is not a good idea. I think what makes the most sense is the way Russ did from Retro Game Core, where he actually got rid of a lot of the handhelds by having an auction, so the money like went to charity, and that was a really nice way of doing things. But you know, this is like the only one I have, and again, I thought maybe I'll hold on to this for comparison's sake, and this is going to make a lot of sense with the Odin 2 Mini. So I'll probably compare these two and have a look at the screens. But again, it's probably hard to justify the comparison on a video. I think I've seen many people's videos when they've looked at a product like this. They always say they can't show on video the truest quality of the screen. But the Odin 2 Mini, the Mini LED, is promising to be quite bright. So, yeah, I am excited. I am excited for the Odin 2 Mini. I'm hoping to get it late June, early July, and do a review as soon as possible. I'm still actually trying to get a hold of them to potentially do, to get a review unit from them, but we'll see. Because I didn't get one for the Odin 2, and I feel like I'm at a place where I should be able to get some review units. So yeah, let me hammer on a bit about. So I was talking a little bit about original hardware and handhelds that kind of like, I was saying that the Odin 2 is an all-in-one. Probably at this point in time, for your bang for your buck, is the most complete kind of all-in-one experience bar PC gaming, even though it does have Winlator. I just think the average person, if they were to grab, do I still have, I have Winlator on here, I think. Give me a sec. I can't remember if I deleted it or not. I don't know why I pulled it away. I do have Winlator on here. It says it's 2 gigabytes. I can't remember why. I have a container set up. What do I do? Run container. And then booting into Windows. And it uses a mouse here I can move around. I think it's the D drive I open for download. And I have a PC folder in here. I was trying to play Streets of Rage Remake in here. Now, I'm not very good. I've looked at a bunch of videos for setting things up, and I tried some different games where they actually went full screen. This game, for some reason, does not go into full screen, and I don't think I've set up the buttons properly. So, even for someone like me that's like a bit more experienced with emulators and setting things up, it might have just been this game in particular. If I put more effort into, say, Fallout 3, I probably would have had a better experience setting things up, because that's like an actual PC game, whereas this is like a fan-made thing. And I don't know how compatible it is the way this Windows emulation is done. So I don't know. I was trying to set up Winlator to play classic, well, not classic games, but like fan mods. There's like some really good Mega Man fan mods, like for example Street Fighter X Mega Man or something. There's a bunch of stuff like that, and I thought that would be perfect for the Odin 2. And I thought if I could get that running, I'll do a video on it. But yeah, I don't know. I'd be interested to see in the comments anybody who maybe had similar ideas to me. Maybe if you've had good experiences with Winlator or bad, if you think it's worth the effort or not. I think some people have been interested in me doing a video on Winlator, but at this current point in time, I'm not heavily interested in it. So yeah, the Odin 2 is awesome, especially when you customize it even further. I've really enjoyed getting stuff from SakuraRetroModding. A lot of people ask me about my PlayStation logo. So at first, where I was getting it, I think it was from Etsy, and I got my logos, the original logos I was getting, I got them years ago, and I think either the shop is closed down or they're not selling them. And so, and some people say, what store did you get them from? But I think many stores do them on Etsy. So I was trying to say, like, search for them in your own country and region, because like you don't want to pay additional money for like overseas shipping and stuff, you know. So there are people making these, and SakuraRetroModding sent me these like kind of like silvery, glowy PlayStation logos and some other ones, kind of as a thank you for showing off his stuff in videos, but he's not selling them on his store, and I think some people would be interested in stickers. So if you are interested, it might be worth messaging him and say either like, would you be willing to sell them on your store more, or if they're simple to make, can I add one to my order and I'll pay you extra? I don't know. You know, it might be worth asking him personally, but he's the reason why I currently have that silver one. So the Odin 2 is a fantastic all-in-one device for things. Obviously, I don't have a Steam Deck, but I would recommend a Steam Deck to most casual people, because it is the most like easy to get and easy to set up device, where so many people in the community have done so much with it that finding the correct information and setting something up is a lot easier than most other systems, I think. I've got the Miyoo Mini Plus here, and I brought it down, so I thought I might as well put this in the video. This is still amazing, and I think we're all really excited about Miyoo doing a clamshell. And I think there was a video recently where they have shown they're still working on the clamshell. However, AmbiOdin has completely beat them to the punch and are now selling a clamshell which most reviewers are saying is like a near perfect product, which is kind of exciting, really. And with that kind of clout behind it, I imagine it would sell extremely well. I've ordered a I forget the name of it. It's a RG35XXSP, I think. God, it's hard to remember these names off the top of the head. I've ordered one of those, and I'm not going to do a review on it. I'm going to do a short. I'm going to try just doing a short on it, and it kind of works for that form factor, you know, because it's tall and not wide. So I want to see how that goes. But the amount of things you can do on the Miyoo Mini is also just bang for your buck. Still an amazing buy. The other thing I have is the RG35XX Plus, which I've not touched in a really long time, and one of the reasons is because every time I turn it on, it doesn't want to boot anymore, and I just haven't like gotten myself interested to like fix that. I think there is an update to the OS, but I think one of the things I was hoping to come by was Garlic OS for this. I don't think that's still a thing. I think there is a custom OS you can use on here, or maybe an OS in beta, but yeah, look, you can see it's just stuck, and it's one of the reasons I've just not really thought about it lately, and because I've not thought about doing a video on it, I've just not really played it. Still, I would probably still recommend the Miyoo Mini Plus. Anybody who's not really seen my videos for some time, you can't get this color, by the way. I personally dyed this. I took it apart, I removed the screen, and I dyed this with what color did I pick? I can't remember. I think I used black with, yeah, it was a transparent purple Miyoo Mini Plus that I used black on, and it became kind of like cherry, like, or Pinot Grigio, as someone on Reddit called it, and I still love it. Actually, it looks super cool. It's a one of a kind. No other Miyoo Mini is like this in the world, which is awesome. I was going to just show very quickly that Pico 8 is pretty cool on this. There are some really cool games on here that you can get really invested in. Pieces of Cake is... There are some puzzle games on here you can get really addicted to. And actually, if I press the menu button and see what I've got in here. Combo Pool is super cool. Was it Russ from Retro Game Core that did a video on a game that was like really addictive? It was like Tetris balls or something, and the balls, but the same thing happens in this game. So if I play Combo Pool, if you don't have Combo Pool, it's really fun. So let's say I'll pick Endless, and your goal is to fire a ball at the bottom and hit another ball of the same color, and when those two colors touch, a different color ball is made. So, and then you've got the momentum of the balls as they hit each other. So you're pretty much like firing blacks all the time and trying to make the balls bounce into each other and combine colors. If there are too many balls on the screen, then the game just will end. Like too many balls, blah blah blah, game ends. So I actually remember playing this a couple of nights and just getting really stuck into it. Like it can be quite a lot of fun. Games like this are always super addictive. I just started thinking in my head, what am I going to name this video? It's so random. It's just like all kinds of different stuff. I haven't even gotten on to talk about Nintendo DS and 3DS because I'd been talking about, say, the PlayStation Vita and the fact that buying original hardware is still very viable these days. And the last video I did on one is with the PSP Go. I think this thing is so cool, dude. I think it's still... I haven't actually played it for a little while because, like I said, if you want a kind of all-in-one device, I still go to the Odin 2 like all the time. So I'm quite excited to see how I feel about the Mini. But having a properly done up PSP Go with an SD card adapter in there to have increased storage, super cool. And this thing is so light, and I think it makes a perfect companion for like something like a Miyoo Mini Plus. The Miyoo Mini Plus, it can play PlayStation 1 games, but it can't play PSP. Whereas, I mean, it's so tiny. If I shut this and go sideways, you know, it's smaller. It's a little bit taller, but it's thinner than a Miyoo Mini Plus. So if you like the idea of having a whole bunch of PSP games in a really tiny device on a big memory card, you know, I could go to... I've got all different categories here to set things up. PSP puzzle rhythm games. Did I press the right button? Yeah, I was wiping this earlier and I was... Oh, what's that? I don't know what that is. I was wiping this earlier and I was worried I broke it. Oh, look, Parappa the Rapper? Hell yeah. Is this a game that needs the stick? I honestly don't mind using the stick on this. I think it's quite cool. I think I think the PSP Go is a really cool device. I can understand why it didn't do well when it came out, but like, if there was like an updated kind of version of this, I'd think it's pretty sick. It seems like the kind... If you're a James Bond fan, right? If you ever watch Tomorrow Never Dies, where he's remote controlling his car, he has a phone like this. I think it flips. I can't remember. Dude, this is so loud. Where's the volume? I can't touch the volume. Yeah, and he has a device like this. I think it has a touchpad where he's controlling the car. Damn, I love James Bond. Yeah, platonically. So this is yet again another device. I pick it up, I start holding it, and there's a connection. You know, there's a connection like, oh my god, I think this is kind of cool. I want to play some games on it. I think that's the biggest compliment you can have to a handheld device. Oh my god, so this is the original Parappa the Rapper in widescreen? Oh dude, I can't do this like this. I gotta lose. Punch! Chop! Block, block, block! When you play Parappa the Rapper, did you ever try and kind of like freestyle? Up, up, duck! Jump, jump, jump! Turn, turn! Oh, which one? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, the PSP Go is really awesome. I'm so glad I got this, and I got it for a pretty decent price. Around the same kind of money you'd spend, maybe a little bit more than a Miyoo Mini Plus. Oh, dude, he is not happy. He is gone full on stinky onion. Alright, so to turn this off, I have to like hold the button all the way, and because I really don't want the battery draining on this thing. I don't want to mess around with the battery of this. No! Oh no. I don't want to mess around with the battery of this because the guy I bought this from on eBay, he mentioned to me that he'd already like replaced the battery. A lot of PSPs have dead batteries. I'm hoping that's okay. Another device I have been playing a lot recently is because for some reason I've been feeling a bit ill lately. I don't know if it's like allergies and stuff, but I've been feeling groggy and like tired, and I thought, you know what, something that might be really cool is if I got my Nintendo DS out. I'm so glad I got these, and I'm actually really glad I got this small one because I love the XL more. I think if you're going to play Nintendo DS games on anything, the XL is probably your best bet because it's got a big screen. It's just super nice to play on. But when it comes to handhelds and weight, the XL has better screens, but this is lighter. So for a lighter device, brain training actually comes in clutch, because you're actually doing a lot of this, and this is so comfortable. I think that's super oh, don't swear. So it's so comfortable. Oh, I love this. When you're talking, like, I don't know if he can hear me, but if you say things, oh, what does he not like? If you say, oh, look, he laughed. If you say bad words, he'll be annoyed. I can't remember which one. Oh, look, yeah, he's getting sad. I think one of them he doesn't like for some reason. If I say, cake. Wait, did he smell? Cake! No, he doesn't like cake. Dr. Kawashima doesn't like cake. Sugar is bad for your brain. I've actually been doing a lot of Sudokus. I've been getting into Sudokus. So I've been having a lot of fun playing on this. So I might, if in the daytime, if I'm finding myself a bit bored, laying down. Wait, what did you eat for dinner on the 16th of May? That was 6 days ago, dude. You can't do that to me. Wait, a week ago, last Tuesday, last Wednesday. Last Wednesday? Look, I'm just gonna tell him to sod off. I can't remember that. I had quesadillas! Oh shit, he asked me. I remember making those now. That's funny as hell, dude. I don't even remember him asking me that. So obviously, I need brain training more than I thought. Every time you start doing a Sudoku, he asks you to do stupid stuff. Like, can you draw like Frankenstein for me? It's like, no, I want to do a Sudoku. He's like, nah, come on, draw it for me. So I've been doing a bunch of basic Sudokus. I find the intermediate ones really hard. I'm gonna have to like find a way of doing those, but I'm slowly becoming pretty decent at Sudokus, and I think this whole brain training thing is a vibe. I think it'd be fun if Nintendo brought that kind of stuff back. I mean, they did release it for the Switch, but yeah, if I go to daily training, dude, I'm not 50, by the way. I just want to say I'm not brain age 50. The game has screwed me over because it's not registered my voice for certain things. And then there's this one mode. Oh, it's been 3 days. What was the best thing you heard or saw on the news today? Dude, the news is just evil. There's nothing on the news that's good. What was the best thing you heard or saw on the news today? Nice weather. There you go. Nice weather. Do I have the thing? So there's one game where it shows you like 24-letter words. There's loads of them, and it gives you 2 minutes to remember them. I can't do it. My head cannot do it. I can do low to high. I can do calculations pretty fast. It's not fair. So it's like, I don't know. It's like saying, oh no, I'm not going to get into these metaphors. But like, I think some people are better at stuff than others. And that I have had a brain age of like 26 or something. You know, I was getting pretty good at it. But then it threw in a couple of games I did not like. And I was like, this isn't fair. Anyway, I was on a point of saying that owning original hardware, especially Nintendo Switch, Nintendo DS stuff, because you have dual screens and it's just super fun to play. So it's always, you know, there are some people I talk to about handhelds, and when I talk about the Nintendo DS, people get like really excited about talking about the Nintendo DS, because I think. So my age bracket, I'm 36 years old, and there's a lot of like teenagers who had a Nintendo DS, but there are a lot of kids who had a Nintendo DS. So people who are aged around like 25 are extremely fond of the Nintendo DS. So if you like ever talk to them and mention stuff like, hang on, I have different categories here. I'm trying to find where I put Nintendogs. Sim and adventure, probably? That sounds right. yeah, start talking about Nintendos, and you'll probably find people that just go, man, I want to get into handhelds again because that's all I did as a kid. And I feel like handhelds are just going to be something that'll never die. There's always going to be extreme love for them because they feel so personalized. Doggy! Oh wait, I don't have a dog on this one. I have it on the big one. But it's extremely easy to swap saves between your Nintendo DS's if they're hacked. You know, it's all on the SD card, and you can very quickly like pull it out, get on a PC, and just like chuck the save on there, and then go put it on the other one. Or what I do is I have an SD card in here, and I just put it in the big one. I just swap between them because I don't really need two SD cards. I do also have the R4. No, Pokemon is in there. The R4 is in here. Oh, it won't come out. I have an R4 in here as well, so I do have an extra card where I can have like even more games or something. So I could run like two individual DS's if I wanted to. But yeah, I would still say, even to this day, looking on eBay for a secondhand DS in really good quality, I was actually really happy when I looked for my DS's. These are they're in really good condition. I need to kind of wipe them. The only problem I had on this one is a couple like scuff marks here, but they're so minor and I have to really look out for them. It's if you can find a decent quality Nintendo DS, super worth it. I think this belonged to an old woman. I remember there was like videos and stuff on there that I had to delete, but it was really cute. So that brings me on to just finally mentioning the Nintendo 3DS, which I have not opened. How do I turn it on? Oh, it's down here. I have this case thing, this protective case, and it adds, I've never actually weighed how much it adds, but it's like, I don't know, like 20 grams or something maybe. Sometimes I wonder if I should take it off. But so Nintendo 3DS emulation is in a really healthy place. You can play a lot of Nintendo 3DS games on the Odin 2, and it works extremely well. There's an update? Why is there an update? Volume? No. I know I don't want to. Thank you. Where's my... I've got a stick down there. Ta-da! And my 3DS, I have two 3DSs actually. I haven't done videos on these in a really long time. This is my 2DS XL, which is also like hacked. Got tons of stuff on it. It has a PSP stick on there to replace the nub, which sucks, and that makes controlling the stick a lot easier. Same on here, I have it there too. I really like this as a retro gaming DS, whereas this as a full-on 3DS console is just magical. And again, as I was saying, when you pick up a device like this and play it again, this one fits really snug in your palms. And look at the amount of games I got on here. Absolutely crazy. I think when I did videos on the 3DS, damn, it was a really long time ago, like 2 years ago or something. Also, I have my custom Night of the Hunt theme. Night of the Hunt is an album I made inspired by Bloodborne, and when I was sorting out modifying and hacking the 3DS, there was this whole thing to do with themes, and I actually looked up creating your own theme. So I made my own Night of the Hunt theme with like specific colors and stuff, and I love customizing and making things even more unique. You know, I've dyed the plus, I have put, you know, PlayStation buttons on the Odin 2, and so on. I don't have my Retroid Pocket 3 down here, but that one is also heavily modified, and I love it. So this has loads of classic Game Boy Advance, all retro games, Nintendo DS games. If I was going to play Nintendo DS games now, like, say, Phantom Hourglass? Yeah, that's a DS game. I would play that on original DS hardware now, because Uh, I mean, so DS games stretch on a 3DS in a way that they look a bit blurry. You can hold some buttons, I forget which right now, to make the screen the original size, but they don't use a large amount of the screen, and I just don't think it looks very good. My personal opinion is if you want to play Nintendo DS games on original hardware and have them look the best and have the best experience with them, I would go for the Nintendo DS XL, which has just got big, beautiful screens. The games themselves stretch appropriately, so the pixels don't blur, and it's just a really nice device to hold and play. And the IPS screens, they look really good, whereas the original Nintendo DS, this is the DSi, is it? This one doesn't have the Game Boy Advance slot. Yeah, if you like turn the screen, you won't get good viewing angles, so these screens aren't as good as the XL screens. However, it is light, and there is the fact that it's just slightly more pocketable, so that's a preference thing as well. But my consensus is that the XL is the best way to play original DS games. And playing 3DS games, it's still amazing to play on the 3DS, and I'm still a big fan of the 3D feature. I know not a lot of people like the 3D feature, but I still get a massive kick out of it in the way that I enjoy like virtual reality. I love that feeling of depth and being pulled into the world more. I have completed Ocarina of Time on the 3DS. What I didn't do when I played this is you can apply a mod so that this game is like Majora's Mask, and you can rotate the camera, which is not part of the original 3DS game. So if you're able to and want to play Ocarina of Time 3D on the 3DS, there is a mod. It's quite easy to apply. Once you have it, has to be a hacked 3DS. You can't just do it to the original game. There's like a file you have to add in a certain place, and then you can start using the second stick as a camera stick, which just makes this, you've never played Ocarina of Time with a second stick before. It makes Majora's Mask so much better, so it makes this a bit better too. Damn, what a magical experience this game is. It would be really cool if, you know how... So Nintendo started making 3D games, so Zelda on the N64, Zelda on the GameCube, but then they started to make 2D Zeldas again, like on the Game Boy Advance with like Minish Cap and stuff, right? It would be super awesome if let's say they went forward and kept making open world Zelda. It would be cool if they had a smaller team, or they hired like a third party, like Capcom, for example, to make 3D Zeldas like this, of this quality and size. That would be a super awesome idea, and it's definitely something they could budget. They don't have to put as much money into a product like this as they would, say, Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, because those are like big, AAA budget games. Yeah, dude. I mean, I'd still love to play new classic Zeldas. That's a great idea. I've never thought about that before. Yeah, they need to get other teams making like little Zeldas. Like, I mean, back in the day, this wasn't a little Zelda, but in comparison to Breath of the Wild now, this is a little Zelda. Yeah, they should definitely do that again. I wish I could display the 3D effect, but can't. But oh my god, I'm looking at it now. Oh, it looks so good. I liked the 3D effect on like the original 3DS, but the screens are kind of small. I think the fact that the XL has a bigger screen and it uses the camera more to like help like track your eyes so that you see it clearer. I think that helps a lot. It's so gorgeous. I wish I could show that on camera more. Go buy yourself a 3DS. It's so worth it. Go get a 3DS. Go get a DS. Go get a Vita. Maybe get yourself a PSP Go. I think they're all so worth having. Get yourself a pocketable thing. I'm basically just saying buy all my handhelds. No, I'm not saying that. So I'm really excited to look at the Odin 2 Mini and see if it is like a great all-rounder Android that somehow like beats that because of the size and feeling that you get out of a Vita. Now, I've rambled a lot in this video, and I think I don't have much more to say. I've been talking for an hour straight and haven't had a drink or anything. If you happen to watch this whole video, you are an absolute trooper. I guess, whilst it's here, and I have done a video on this as well, is you can play... I've got some Android games on here. I put Balatro on here because I saw Russ from Retro Game Corps say that's possible, so I was like, okay, let's do it. I'll put Balatro on here. Pretty cool game to have on your device if you just want to have like a you know, a little game session on a game like that. It's pretty cool. But here is Zelda Ocarina of Time with the Ship of Harkonian thing. It's kind of confusing. I did a whole video on it. I've forgotten the buttons here, but this is basically an Android port of Zelda with so many functions, and you can add the textures of Zelda 3DS so it looks like Zelda 3DS, and it will play at like, it's not true 60 frames, it's kind of like an interpolated 60 frames, but it looks really good. So this is like the first time we've ever like seen, is this, what are the buttons? I've really forgotten what the buttons are. I have to get rid of that. Now that's going to work. And I actually put my... I thought I put my 3DS file on here. No, I used a different file from like... Oh, what's going on with the lights? Okay, so if I scroll down and press my AmbiOdin button... Here we go. I'm so glad they added that feature. It's made it so much better to just kind of like get the lights working quicker. Actually, these seem like the wrong colors. Give me a second. It's so bright. Yes, please. Hopefully it doesn't crash. Alright. Maybe it was working the whole time. It's dark around here, though. It is working. Look. God, it's so smooth. If you have an Odin 2 and you just set up everything you could ever want on it, I don't think there's going to be a handheld coming anytime soon that is going to, like, knock it out of position. I don't think you'll be sitting here going, man, I want an upgrade, I want more power, I want a new type of device. I think, like, it's picky, but people who have a device like this probably want an OLED screen, maybe slightly larger. These are, like, manufacturing costs where a company like AYN, I don't know if they would go, oh, it's worth putting money into that, but what they have done is designed a... When we think of the Odin 2 Mini, they've put so much attention into the design. Like, it isn't just a smaller version of this. It is screwless. It has new buttons, a new shell. Like, pretty much everything about it is new except for the hardware inside. But it does have a smaller battery. So they put enough thought into this to think to themselves, this is a viable product. There must be a pretty nice audience for this that are going to go buy it. So we're going to have to wait and see how that's going to turn out. But it would be kind of weird if they had like a meeting and they all sort of gamble on the fact if they made their Odin look like a Vita, they'll sell lights. I don't know. There are a lot of happy Odin 2 users. A lot of people who got the Odin 2 basically just went, oh my god, it's so good. And that's one of the great things about it. So I'm wondering if the Odin 2 Mini is going to have the same impact. Like, I'm really hoping I don't get it and go, it's just an Odin 2, and then not really have this like magical connection with it. I think that's what people want when they get a handheld, and it's like, it's one of the reasons why people like go to Reddit and can't wait to show that they've got it, because they're like, oh my god, it's like makes you feel like a kid again, you know? Those are truly the most like amazing experiences when you buy stuff like this. Anyway, super long video. Still don't know what I'm going to title it. Thank you very much for watching. The next time I do a video will probably be the actual review for the Odin 2 Mini, so I will see you for there. But until then, have a great time gaming, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Oh, like and subscribe, you know. Bye.